You guys are ready with your compiler, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So today I will be covering two very important topics. And the first thing is functions, and the second thing is array. So they both are the pillars of programming. Like whatever we've learned until now, like if else statements, uh, list tuples sets, all are a tool which will be using to find answers for arrays, and where we'll be using functions. So when we are going for advanced programming from now, we'll be only able to use these functions and whatever we have learned until now. So be careful in learning this. And uh, what I have planned is today I'll be covering all the things in function and array. I won't go too detail. I've planned tomorrow session for a problem solving session. I'll be bringing some 10 to 15 or 10 good problems where where the problems has a potential to understand all the concepts what we have learned until now. So okay, let me get into functions. So a function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. Okay, remember it. You will be only able to run function when it is called. I will just make when it is called. And you can pass data, and we will be using some parameters into a function. And yeah, we will be also able to use a term called return. So we'll be learning this new term return here. I will be teaching now how that works. So I will just explain the syntax of how to introduce a function. So
Surya Sandeep here.
yeah, yeah.
Surya, what do you mean exactly by function will be called, then only it will execute?
Like
Called, what it exactly means?
okay, yeah, I was explaining. Can I just give you? I mean, can I just explain this example so that you'll be able to understand? That's what I'm going to say now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, fine. See, okay, I will be just explaining how we are going to give a syntax for function. This is your syntax. Def. Here you have to give your function name. Like I'm going to give a function name called Brisky. This is my function name. Okay. So this should be my syntax. So whenever you're going to give a function name, you should use def, and in the place of Brisky, you can use any name. That's the name of your function, and these close curved brackets. Okay, this is your syntax for it. And after doing so, here you have to give what function you need. I'm just giving example of print uh, hello Brisky chorus. So what he asked was what is mean by call rate. If I'm printing this particular line, what I'm getting is output. I'm getting nothing as output, right? It is empty. Process finished with exit code 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this function. If I want this particular hello Brisky coders, I want to call this Brisky, this function name. Okay. So how I'm going to do is I'm going to, yeah, as I said, indentation is important. If you're giving Brisky here, it won't work. It should be in the left corner of it. I'm just giving this function name. This is the function name, right? If I give this now, see hello Brisky coders. So I will explain you how this runs. So the compiler will just check this first line. It is def Brisky. So it will understand, okay, it is a function. And getting to the second line, it will be saying, okay, print hello Brisky coders. So this function implies you have to print hello Brisky coders. Then again, check the next line, and there will be a, here we will be calling Brisky. So this sentence, this line number 10 implies your calling function Brisky. Got it? That is what you asked, right? What
Yeah.
does it mean by calling? Okay.
Yeah, got it. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. So this is how we are. This is the basic example of how function works. So I'm just going to give more example. Like you may think this is so simple. Why we need to use function? You may think, okay, I will give you a good example now. So see, inside this bracket, I will just explain you this particular thing like this. Whatever inside this bracket, I'm going to explain. What is this Brisky curved bracket, right? So this Brisky is a function name, and this curved bracket is called as arguments. So what does argument mean? Okay, now I will give another example to explain you what is argument. So if I want to I mean, if there are 10 members in this meeting and everyone has different name, one guy name is Naman, another guy name is Raj, you're having different names. But I want to make sure that like whenever I'm typing, there should be a prefix word like hello to everyone. So if I click Raj, it should say hello Raj. If I click Naman, it should say hello Naman. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to make there is already a hello statement here, and I'm going to give an argument of name. My name, I mean my argument, name of the argument is name. Okay, so I mean you can give any argument. Like there is no limitation for it. You can give any words as an argument, and here I'm going to mention it plus your name. Okay, so if I give, so how I should call this, if I want to call this function, what should I do? I should use this particular block, right? This key called arguments. So if I do that, this key call name. So what will I be getting now? Not this key plus.
Hello name.
I guess I've written wrong. Hello name. No, it will not be getting. You will be getting error. Sorry, I just did a mistake here.
The name should be in the double quotes.
Name is a variable, I guess, here.
No, I guess no. What mistake I did was.
The parameter that you have passed name that should be in the double quotes during the time of calling.
No, actually, I mean, what I asked was different. If I want to imply, I mean, if I want to imply, I mean, what I said, if I want to call a name called Raj, okay, I have to give something called Raj, RAG. So what will this particular code do? This when I call this particular segment, like when I'm calling Brisky, this segment, this will call this function, this whole function, and in the place of name, Raj will go. Like in the place of argument, Raj will imply that okay, I'm going to give a name called Raj. So when it's coming to the second print statement, in the place of name, Raj will come. So that's how it basically works. Like everyone understand, right? So if I want to,
So it will be hello Raj like that.
yeah, it will be hello Raj. Okay, if I'm
Yeah.
just again calling it Brisky Naman Brisky Sriram. So if I'm calling all these functions, there is no need I have to call every single time I have to print Raj, print Naman, print hello Raj, print hello Naman, print hello Sriram. Like if I just make this particular segment, I'll be able to print it. Got it? I understand how this argument works, right? How this Brisky this segment is calling that main function part, and how that implies you are able to understand it, right?
So here what we have kept name is an argument, right?
Yeah, name is argument.
Oh.
Okay. So coming into the next example, if you want to, you can also add in both the side. And there is, okay, I will explain this. There is no restriction. You have to only use a name in the right side or the left side. You can use it anywhere. Like you can make argument inside. I mean inside a text, or right side to text, or left side to text. Okay, and there is also no restriction for number of arguments. If I want to give two arguments, like if I'm okay, if there is a party, if there's a party is arranged and everyone has to come in a pair, and if I want to in that place, if I want to make a name called hello uh, hello Raj and Rahim. Okay, if I want to give two names, what should I do? Name, I'm just giving this name one, comma name two. Okay, I will just change this. Hello name one plus name two. I will just give an empty so that it will be have space. Okay. If I'm just making this argument, and I should be giving two what two arguments here, like what I said, Raj, comma Rahim, Naman, comma Jai, Sriram, comma Sid.
Sir, screen not release.
What?
Oh, it's fine now. Actually, your screen got stuck in between.
Oh, now it's fine.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, sorry, I just got it. So what I'm getting here is hello. Everything is right. Just problem.
Sir, after hello, should we add a plus before name of?
That's what I was searching for. Fine. So this is how we are going. If you're giving n number of arguments, you have to give like this. You have to introduce two arguments there, and you have to give a respective number of argument when you're calling to. See here also you're giving two arguments, and when you're trying to call it, you're also giving two arguments here. So this is how if you want to perform like the number of arguments you want, the number of arguments you should give in both while initializing it and while calling it. And next, there is also you can also ask n number of attributes. If the number of arguments is unknown, like if you're getting things from the user, you can give. You have to use this symbol. Okay, I will just teach you that.
Input function.
What? I mean, if I'm just getting n number of inputs, see now I know only two members are going to come, so I gave two arguments. If I want to take the data list of all the members who came to the party, I don't know the numbers, right? So I have to print every single time who is coming. So I will be using n number of arguments here. If you want to use that n number of arguments, you have to use this particular star symbol before your arguments. Like if my argument is member, So this is how my this is how my syntax should be. You should use a star before it, and otherwise it's normal. And I'm going to print the names. The names, and I'm going to give mem. Now I can if okay. I'm going to find the third member who came to the party. Okay. So after this, I'm going to call my function Bresky. Uh, what can okay? I will give Raj. Paul. Stephen. So who should be my member? Third member. If I'm just printing this now, what should I get as my output?
Stephen.
Yeah, the name is Stephen. So this is stuff you should use if you don't know how many members are there, or if you want to find a particular member in that team, you have to use this to find your value. So this is what this important thing is the syntax. You should know you should use star before this. So this is
If instead of this we want to print all the names, so what we can do?
in the sense like if you want to print all the names in from this list. I mean I didn't get you what you asked.
Is this what I said? All the names from this list we have to print. Is then what we have to do for that?
Then you can do it normally, like Raj. I mean, then you should use a if loop. I mean, for loop there. You remember yesterday I taught you should have you should choose I for I in members. I mean, I will discuss a problem about that. I had that using if conditions, using for condition, while condition in functions. I mean, function is a very vast topic. You can use anything inside function. So for using things like if for, that's why I thought everything before, and I will be introducing that in function. I will be completing like basic syntax of whatever is there in function, and I will tomorrow and I will teach all the important problems tomorrow, where you will be like whatever you ask now, you will be able to understand tomorrow when I teach with the example of these problems. Like whatever I asked is it's a other topic which is very important, so I will just complete whatever I had in my mind today. Okay. So let's make a problem in this. Okay, I will just discuss the problem. So let's make a small calculator problem now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a function for calculation, like calculation of a and calculation of two numbers. Okay. So I'm just making.
What does def mean in this?
That you mean the full form of it, or why they are using the word def?
Actually, I got some network error. So you can please explain it.
I mean that's a syntax. That's why that's a syntax. There is using why using print for that's basically a definition of it.
Just like print.
Yeah, just like print. This is also a calling word. If you're using function, you have to use this keyword def.
Okay, in function we use def rather than print.
No. I'm just saying like it is also a syntax for it when you are using it. Don't get confused. It is just a keyword for it. keyword, right? And def is also a keyword which you will be using when you want to use function. Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah. Is it okay now? You understood why we are using it?
Yes.
Fine.
So,
Yeah.
what is this return statement and the use of print statement inside a function?
See, print statement has the same use. Like if you want to print something, you will be using inside a function. So you're not going. I mean, whenever using a function, you need output, right? So if you need output at a point, you
Yes,
definitely need a.
no. My question is, what is the use of return statement and what is the use of print statement inside the user-defined function?
Okay. Can I just give you an example? I mean, return is also a topic. Okay, I'll just teach you now itself. Return. I thought of giving a calculation problem now. I will explain that normally, and I will explain that for what you asked for return, right? I will explain with that example. Okay. I will just do the same problem with two types. Normally, I'm using return. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm just using something called calculation now, and I'm giving two arguments A, comma B, because you need two arguments to do it. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the sum. I mean, I'm going to print. I'm going to save this result in other word. If I'm going to give 5 in A and 7 in B, and if I'm going to add it, I'll be getting 12. So for storing that value 12, I'm introducing a new variable here. I'm using a variable C. C equal to A plus B. Okay. So C equal to A plus B, and what I'm doing, I'm going to print this value C here. So why I use the function is to give any value. Like I'm going to give calculations, and I'm going to give 5, 7. So what should I get now? I got 12 answer. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm initializing a new variable here to save the result of these two numbers, and I'm printing here. So whatever value I need, I can give and I'm calling. So I'm just calling another time calculation, and I'm giving 90, 78. Still I'll be getting 168. See, I got the right answer. So what you asked was how we are going to use return, right? So return are very useful statements. Like I'm going to do everything in a simple step. I'm going to give return A plus B. Okay. If I'm using this particular return statement, I'll be getting output. Okay, I'm not printing it. Sorry, I haven't printed it. Result. Okay. Yeah. If I use return, I'll be directly getting it. But the only difference is you have to save this calling statement to a variable. Like I have to save a value called R result, and I have to equate it to this particular variable. Like I have to see in this calculation bracket 5, 7, we are calling this particular function, right? So if I want to get the value through return, we have to initialize it to a new variable which we are introducing it. Like see, both are same. If you're not using return, you will be either doing it introducing a new variable. When you are not using return, anyways you have to introduce a new variable where you will be adding the main function which you are calling here. right? You will not be finding any difference. See, I will just give it now. I have to do the same thing. See, I got the same answer, even if I do return. Like return will be useful at when your compiler wants something, you can use return. Otherwise, there is no need to use return. You can use it normally. Like only if there is a argument where you need it, you can use return. There won't be any difference. If you're not using return, also you'll be getting the same answer. There is no necessity at this point you have to use return, and this point you should not use return. It is your wish. But if you want to use return, you have to give something like this. But if you're not initializing your calling segment to a new variable, you will not be getting an answer. You got it? What's the difference between return statement and normal thing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now I just want you to make a single function where you should do both multiplication and division. Okay. Okay. I will just give an example. No, don't do that. No, like I will just give an example. You have to do the same thing. So what I'm doing a plus b comma a minus b. Okay. And I'm giving a print statement. See what I got. I got 12 comma minus 2. So in the first step, what it's doing 5 plus 12 in this return statement, and second time it's doing 5 minus 7, it's minus 2. So I want you to do here I did plus and minus. I want you to do multiplication and division, but I want you to do in both return and in normal type. Okay. If you have did that, you got an understanding of what function is basically.
Sir, rather than us giving these values, can we ask the user input for these values and the function will do the rest like calculation?
I mean, can I come again? I didn't get it.
Rather than us giving the values like 5 and 7, can we ask it as the user input and the function will do the calculation?
Yeah, you can also do that. Like what I want you to learn how this function basically works. Like user input and whatever, what we are giving input, that's different. I mean, both does the same thing. Your function segment is important. How we are. So whatever function you are doing is important. So that's why I asked. I mean, for now you don't use user input and all. You just give the value. I just want you to do in both type, like using return and using normal. So I give you 2 minutes time. If you have completed, just raise your hand. Only 2 have completed. Anand Pandey completed. I mean, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. That's what I'm saying. If anyone is very sure, you can just, I will allow you to share your screen. You can just show it to others. If anyone have completed it properly. Can anyone of you like Madhusudan, Nitish Pandey, Rohan Gupta, can you share your screen?
Sir, I won't be able to share because of the poor internet connection.
Okay, fine. find that.
I can share.
Who's that? Kirin Mystery.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Okay, now. Okay, now you will be able to present it. You just present it. I will.
Yeah, I can now. Mm, is everyone can see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I just did this. This is just a method function, and inside this print and I click return.
Nice.
So yeah, that's it.
Super. I've done it properly. Like everyone are able to understand this, right? What he has done. See, he has done it very properly. Anyone have doubt with this code? Okay, now we can stop sharing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, you got my screen back, right?
Yeah. I didn't.
So let me do the problem. Okay, let's age. Okay, we have did to return, right? Okay, that's it. So okay, that's all. Function is all about this. I mean, you're having very tough problems in function. Like there will be a situation where you will be using if condition, else condition, everything inside function. But I just thought like I should complete arrays today. So I will just jump to arrays, and tomorrow I will be discussing some important problems in functions and array where you will be getting where I will be giving some good complex problems where you will be understanding the whole concept of it. Okay, so I will just I will quickly jump into array now.
Okay.
So arrays. So Python array, it is a collection of common type of data structures having elements with the same data type. This is what. Okay, I will just give you a picture of how array works. Array structure. Okay, this is how your array will look. I mean, I've shown you a number of times, but I'm just showing it again. This is what your array is. This is how it looks. Like you may think what this is. In your system, we are saying that your memory, your RAM, you're saying everything, right? Inside every part of it, this is how it looks internally. There will be a different segments of blocks where all your data will be saved continuously or having different address. It will be saved in this order. They all of them have a certain index for it, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. All of them have a different index for it. This is how our data will be saved to our electronics. Okay, so this is what I'm going to learn about now. And there are two important things in array. You will be able to only use the same data type. That is what important. Like same data type. Like what is data type? Data types are in, float, strings, those things. Like if you are using numbers, you should use only numbers. If you are using a word or alphabet, you should use only alphabets. And that's a restriction here. So same data type. So if you want to create array using array module, and elements of the array must be a same numeric type too. So let's quickly get into the syntax of it. So when you are going to implement array, you should give this as in from array import. So here you are getting that from a library. You are getting array from a library. Okay. This is a mandatory thing. You have to do this to, like, without this line. If you're talking about array in your code, system will not be able to understand it. Okay, when the moment you import array from a library only, it will be able to accept, okay, you're doing something called array. So that's how system understands. If you are not giving this line of segment here, system will not be able to understand. It will just turn into gray color now because I have not used it yet. The moment when I use array here, it will come to color. Okay, I'll just show you how to initialize it. So same story. Like whenever you want to initialize something, you have to give a variable name. So I'm just giving Brisky. This is the name of my array. And if you want to initialize it, this is your syntax. You have to use word array, and you should make. I said the moment I used array, these the color came. I mean, all these things become active. So array. First thing you have to introduce which type of data type it is inside it. Like I'm using I. I means integers. Okay, you may ask what are other words for other data types. See, this is the whole list. Able to see it, right? B, capital B, U, H, capital H. My screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. See, the small b is sign character, and this capital B is unsigned character, and this U is Unicode, and I have used small I, right? Here is a small I, signed integer. So in this I can use any numbers. Like I can use negative integer, positive integer. I will be able to use anything. But if it is a capital I, it's unsigned integer. So I'll be able to use only positive integers here. So same for all the things. If you want to use a double, if you want to use a big value, you should use D. If you want to use a point value, you should use F. If you want to use 3.2, you should use float. Okay, if this will work for all the letters. So you have to remember this. Basically, you'll be using 3 to 4 of this. Like there are 12 to 14 in a list, but mostly you'll be using B, small I, and D or F. Mostly you will not be use other things. Okay, yeah, so you should remember all these. So I said syntax, right? So first thing you have to introduce the syntax. So if you're introducing I, okay, it will understand, okay, whatever you're going to give inside this, you will be using the digits. I mean, you will be using integers. So the next thing is, you have to give the list of elements you are going to perform with. So this is a Brisky. I guess I've got the picture, array structure. So I have just introduced this array, this empty array. Leave all this numbers inside it. I've just given this array where I've also I didn't introduce the index or anything. I've just entered an empty array there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to enter all the elements I need. See here you're seeing numbers, right? 11, 9, 17, 89, 190. So I'm just going to give a list of elements which I need to be inside this particular array. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give a list. Okay. In this list, I'll be giving the elements whatever I need. If I want 2, 4, 6, 5, minus 76, or 9, anything I want. 9. I'm just declaring it. So then what I'm doing, I'm going to print this array. So if I want to print this array, what I should give? What is the name of this array? It's Brisky. So I'll be giving Brisky. See the output, it's array I 2, 4, 5, 6. I mean, we have got all the data which I've given inside a new variable, right? So this is what you have to do if you want to initialize array, right? I mean, you can just ask me now. So how to get all the, I mean, here there will be a full detail of the array. See, it is given array, what data type it is, and it also have given the number of elements inside this particular list and array. So if I want all the, I mean, if I want every single, I only want every single element inside this. See, if I'm just collecting all this data, and if I want to give to a to the user, they don't need what type it is. They only need, I mean, they only want to get the answer. Right? They want whether it is 2 or 4. They don't need whether it is integer type or positive numbers. They just need the answer. Right? So on that point, you just have to give the number of elements in it, the number of elements and what are the elements in it. So when you're going to do that, you should use a for loop here. So for loop is what yesterday we did. For I in so how many elements are here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for I in range 5. Here print, inside print I'm going to give Brisky, and I'm going to make a square bracket. So what this square bracket implies with the data variable, see, whenever you are using a square bracket after a variable, that implies that you are going to point out the index value of it, index value of anyone. Like if I'm using this and if I'm going to have 1, okay, I've got 4. I mean, I've got, for me, I'm just showing it. The problem is different. I will say why 4 is printed 5 times. See what I did. I've given I, right? Okay. Sorry. I'm giving 3, element 3. So what is the third element here? 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'll be getting 6 here. 6 5 times here. So why I'll be getting 6 5 times means I will explain this loop, how this works. For I in range 5. So what this for loop means, I will be running this particular loop 5 times. I mean, I will be running this loop a number of times until the value of I becomes 5. So while the first time it is coming inside it, it is just checking the first variable. Okay, it is 2. I mean, sorry. When it's getting a first time inside it, it is checking Brisky square bracket 3. So it is going and checking the third element of it. So it's able to find it is 6. So after printing the 6, this particular loop is running for 5 times again. So it is printing 6, and again it's coming to the same loop and it's checking. It's the third element. So again it's printing 6, and again it's coming for the fourth loop. Again, I mean, there is no need in the array, right? It is fixed one. So again and again it's printing the same element. If you want to print all the element in this array, what you have to do is you have to print I there. So what this I means, for when you are printing this first time, you will be getting the Brisky 0 here, right? Brisky 0, and your loop ends here. When your value is Brisky 0, your element will be 2. And the second time this loop runs, your value will become 1. And in the index value of 1, the element is 4. It will again print the element called 4. And in the third time, it will get into 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will stop in the fifth time of this, fifth time of this loop. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth element is 9. So after this, your element will be, your loop will not run because you have fixed your range. Okay, so that's how it basically works. So now if I give print, see, you got all your numbers listed.
Hello.
Yeah.
So without incrementing the value of I, how will it increase?
See, when you have to increment the value, you forgot it, I guess. You should increment only if you are using while. For is especially for increment. Like for will increment itself. Whenever using a while, you should use that. So can I just show the same problem in while?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. If while you have to do the same thing. While I is less than 5, should print I. What did I made? Da-da-da. Oh, sorry, I just made 5 here. I should make
I is not defined.
I
I should,
initialize I value. I equal
You
to
should initialize a I.
I equal to 0.
yeah, I forgot that line. Thanks. I just thought I did some syntax problem. Okay, now that's how it works in while. So when I'm using while, you have to increment. That's a difference for. I mean, there is no difference between for and while. If you look the syntax of for, you'll be giving for in. That's how you experiment. You are giving something called range there, right? There is no element called range here. So when the moment you are giving range, there is no need to increment. It will again come to the same circle. But here you are not giving any range. You are giving only conditions. That's what I said. While is based on conditions and for is based on executable code, because you know what you have to execute. You will be giving the total syntax. I mean, so total syntax of that in a single line in the first line of for itself. So that's a basic. I mean, that's a big difference between both the thing. And you can use anything, whatever you are comfortable with. There are few exceptions where you will be where you want to only use while, you will not be able to use for, but in most of the cases you will be experiment with both the while and for. So yeah, I will just give a few more problem scenarios. Okay, if I okay so okay, whatever we did now was we just gave a input for array, right? We just give these 2 4 5 6 minus 76 9. So now let's discuss if you want a value, if you want a value where we are going to make that array. I mean, we are not going to initialize it. Okay, we are going to initialize it while I mean